Hi, my name is Jesse Barcelone, and in this video, I will cover password cracking and post-exploitation. The one thing that I wanted to remind everyone is at the beginning of your video that you create for Project 2 for CMIT 386, please talk about your goals. I was hired as a contractor, and I'm going to do a penetration test on the Hotel Dorsey network. I'm using a Kali Linux with this IP address, whatever your IP may be. I'm going to be scanning this other IP, whatever the IP you're scanning is, etc. So make sure you give the context at the beginning of the video, and then I'll talk about the end of the video after I get past this part. First thing I'm going to do is make sure I can connect to the machine. If I can't connect to it, then I won't be able to exploit it, etc. So let me cover a couple of exploit points. Before I do that, I'll run an Nmap scan. Traditionally, you may have already run an Nmap or a Znmap, but what you will find with systems you scan is, depending on what's happening, the ports may change that are open. So I'm just going to reassure myself. I'm going to look at two different entry points. Now I've changed this scenario, so it's going to be a little different for you, but me walking through the steps I'm sure will be helpful. So the first thing you see is Telnet's open. So I'm going to take a look at that port by typing the following command. Now Telnet and then the IP. Remember your student number, team number, student number, and you also always use 100 for your Metasploitable too. I can put 23 or leave it out because that's the default for Telnet. Watch this. So when I do this, you will see that there actually is a username and password displayed right there. So I'm going to go ahead and log in as super admin with the password of super admin. I'm in. So one of the things you all want to do is you want to crack passwords. So if you take a look at the shadow file, that's where the passwords are. Watch what happens when I do this. First of all, I need to pick the right file, which is shadow, PASSWE. Watch what happens. Permission denied. You probably wouldn't want to include this in the video unless you explained it well, but basically that is kind of an error. So you want to kind of get your video polished. If I run the sudo command, and I do have sudo permissions, then in theory, I should be able to view that file. Asking me for the password. I do see an error there that I'm just going to ignore that. Okay, it says I'm not in the sudoers file. But if you were, you could. For example, if you're MSF admin. So the other thing we can do is this. I see a specific folder, red team, look here. I'm going to do this. And noticed that that folder I'm able to read and go into as the user. So I see this folder. Basically, the point here is when you do real pen tests, you have to look around once in a while, and you'll never know what you find. One of the competitions I was just at recently, Hack the Hospital, it was based on what you found, and you have to do some looking. So I'm going to look in this folder that obviously would not be part of the real world, but red team, look here. Sorry about that. I definitely don't want that in my final production video. All right. And there is a file called shadow. I'm going to read that file. And well, first, before I read it, I'll even show you this. Let's see what the permissions are on it this time. It's read, write, execute anyone. So anyway, I'm not going to get a permission denied this time. Oh, I don't know why my tab completion's not working. That makes for a bad video, but I'm sorry about that. Anyway, there's the file. Now I'm going to cat it, and then I'll show you the next step. So here's all these. Do not crack all these passwords. This is the beautiful part of this class. You only need to crack the password assigned to your student and red team number. I'll show you how to do that now. I'm going to copy mine only. Click copy. Now I'm going to open a new terminal. New window. Then I'm going to type LeafPad, which is kind of like Notepad for Linux. I'll give the file a name, hash.txt. You could call it whatever you want. Okay. And then I'll paste a hash in there. Guess I had a sample one in there. All right. So you see, this is my sample. I save it. Yes. And then you just run the command, John. You don't have to specify any options or anything else. And then the name of the file where you copied and pasted it. If you wanted to do quality assurance, you could make sure that the username and the hash are in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and run John. And this is one important thing. Please do not make your client or your professor sit there and wait while your password cracks. Pause your video because this could take a little while. I'm going to pause mine. So my password has been cracked, and as you see, it's right here. So let's talk about a few important points. It can take a while. Don't leave your video running, but my password was IH, and there's the username. So anyway, so hi spelled backwards. Here's what's interesting. Watch this. This is really important for your video demonstration. Watch what happens. Say I want to show someone in my house, like my son or my daughter or my dog, how I crack that password. Now it says no password hashes left to crack. That's going to stump me because it's not cracking it anymore, and it just did. So here's what we're going to do. There's a file that contains the hashes. Let me clear my screen. That makes me more comfortable, and I'll show you where it is. So if I do a john.pod, that actually shows you the passwords that it's cracked. All of the passwords are 2 characters. I did want to say, please don't crack more than the passwords other than the one you were assigned to, because technically, you know, in a pen test, you have to stay within the scope. Your instructor said crack that one password. That's all you should be cracking. So anyway, what I can do is just type this simple command, and that empties the file. And then when I go to crack it again, this time it will work because it doesn't have it. And there's that password again. So anyway, cracking the password is something that you should do using John the Ripper. Let's go back to this earlier scenario. Remember when I tried this? Oh, luckily up arrow was working. And it failed, said permission denied. And I did continue to work and found a way. But I want to talk about this because some of you will do exploits and you will not be root. So I will show you a nice way to get root. If you're not root and you want to become root, that's called privilege escalation. To do that, you can just type nmap --interactive. After that, you can type bang, which is exclamation point sh, and then you get a root shell. Look at that. Now who am I? Root. Now if you type cat /etc shadow, you aren't going to have any restrictions on what you can do. All right. Another thing that I did not show you was another way. So also port 80 was open. when we did our Nmap scan. So there you go. Again, we see a username and a password. It's another viable way to get it. Once you have that, you can use a variety of ways to get in. For the final part of this video, there is the data exfiltration. So it's important to know, especially when you see classes like ethical hacking and pen testing, there's some reason to do all this. The pen test is to let the client know, hey, your systems are insecure. Here's what we can do to close the hole. That learning about hackers is important because they can steal really important things like your intellectual property, like credit card information, like information about battle plans, money, all types of things. So there is a reason to hack. And what we're doing here is typically a hacker doesn't just hack to hack and get a password. No, they want to go a step further. They want to take your proprietary data or your information, whether it's a blueprints for a plane for Boeing or something like that. So if we do an ls, a / we see the various folders here. And what we're going to do is we're going to go into the folders based on what your group is. So in this case, so in my case, I'm going to go into red team sample. Remember to put that / in front of your directory name. So you have to go into based on your team. All right. And then once I get in there, I will look at what's there. And there's a file. Now, if I cat the file to kind of see what's in there, there is this what appears to be a funny looking string. That's actually base 64 encoding. So you actually can copy that and go to a website like this and type base 64 decode. And you can put this in your video if you want. I'll show you several ways to do it. All right, and if I click decode, hacker was here. The hacker was here. That's actually the password. That's one way you can get it out of the network. There are some other more advanced ways to get it out. I can show you briefly. One thing I could have done is copied it to my to the FTP directory, which is home/FTP. Another thing I could have done is copied it to the website, which is var. You don't have to do this. If you get the password, you're good. You can also decode it on your own system using hold on, I'm sorry. I'm getting 10 steps ahead of myself. So back to this, you could have just copied this, opened a new term window, type leaf pad whatever you want to name the file, paste this, close it, save it, then type base 64 code -D. Sorry about that. That's also available on the other Linux victim machine, base 64-D bypass. So you could have done it there. Not trying to show off or anything, but if you also saw to steal it, that's one thing the hacker may have to do, depending on what this is. If it's not a text file, I copied it to the home FTP and the var FTP. So if I open up my Firefox, and earlier I went to 192.168.100 when I saw that password, in theory, I would just type mypass.txt. Depending on the permissions, there it is. There's the file. Also, I could try it with FTP. FTP : //. That's data exfiltration. Now I'm stealing the file, downloading it. I can actually download this if I want to save it. Link as. And then it just downloads it to the system, and it will be in the downloads folder. I can show you that. It's not a problem. Okay, so that's everything I could ever have shown you. I did want to make the important point. At the end of the video, you should be summarizing what can be done to help secure these systems. Examples of that could be update the operating system. It could be to close the port. It could be to upgrade from HTTP to HTTPS. It could be used to use stronger passwords. In this case, don't put the password in the banner. The version of Nmap we have is vulnerable to privilege escalation. So summarize for the client to give them the confidence that they can now secure their system. I hope you enjoyed the video, and have a good day.